Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we live and breathe Formula One. Today, we're getting straight to the point. Aston Martin started the season full of hopes and expectations, especially with Fernando Alonso showing incredible performance in the early races. But as you know, not everything is smooth sailing. The team has faced several challenges, and the recent upgrades don't seem to have had the desired effect. So, let's take a closer look at what's going on with the Silverstone team and what we can expect moving forward. If you enjoy this kind of analysis and haven't subscribed yet, you know what to do, right? Leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you don't miss anything. Let's go. So, everyone, let's start by talking about how Aston Martin began the season. Right off the bat, the team was full of optimism, especially with Fernando Alonso at the wheel. In Bahrain, Alonso showed he still has a lot of fire left, being just a few tenths away from pole position. And it wasn't just in Bahrain. In Jeddah, Japan, and especially China, the qualifying performances were impressive. But as you know, nothing is that simple in Formula One. Although the car was flying in qualifying, the race pace started to show its limitations. Even so, Alonso managed to compete on equal terms with at least one Mercedes or McLaren, keeping Aston Martin always up there with the front runners. It seemed like Mike Crack's team was finally finding its way. However, this promising start turned into more complex challenges, especially with the upgrades that didn't have the desired effect. After that promising start, Aston Martin began to face some serious problems. Everything got worse after the upgrades introduced at the Imola Grand Prix. In theory, these upgrades were supposed to bring significant improvements, but what we saw on track was quite different. Both race pace and qualifying speed worsened. The upgrade package in Imola was a continuation of the changes introduced in Japan, and this was the first race where all the big teams, like McLaren, Ferrari, and Red Bull, had their full sets of updates. Expectations were high, but the AMR24 simply couldn't keep up. At the Monaco GP, despite Alonso facing traffic issues, the car's lack of pace became even more evident. This regression was a cold shower for the team and the fans. The upgrades, instead of improving performance, ended up hindering the car's competitiveness. Let's understand what the team did next to try to reverse this situation and the internal changes that began to emerge. With the disappointing results from the upgrades, owner Lawrence Stroll decided it was time to act. Stroll is known for not easily accepting failures and is always looking for ways to improve the team. To start, he made an offer to Enrico Cardilli, who is Ferrari's technical director. This shows how serious he is about wanting to change the tide at Aston Martin. Additionally, the pressure increased significantly on team principal Mike Crack and technical director Dan Fallows. Both are feeling the heat and know they need to find solutions quickly. But is changing personnel really the answer? We've seen the example with Alpine, where sudden changes didn't always bring the expected results. It's a huge risk, and Aston Martin's situation is quite delicate. Let's see if these internal pressures will translate into effective changes or just complicate things even more. One of the main problems seems to be the discrepancy between wind tunnel data and actual performance on track. Basically, what works in the wind tunnel doesn't always translate into real performance gains during races. And you know what's more complicated? Aston Martin is still using Mercedes' wind tunnel, which might be limiting their development possibilities. This puts the team in a tricky position because they rely on infrastructure that may not be optimized for their specific needs. But not all is lost. The team has a plan for the future, a new simulator that should be operational in 2025. This new equipment could be a game changer for Aston Martin, allowing for more precise and efficient development. Of course, this means the coming months will still be challenging, but it's a step in the right direction. Let's keep an eye on the upcoming races and see if Aston Martin can find short-term solutions while we await these major structural changes. The situation at Aston Martin is not just complicated in the development and backstage areas. The pressure is also high regarding the driver lineup. Lawrence Stroll, known for being impatient with mediocre results, might be considering changes in the team, including his own son, Lance Stroll's position. Even with Lance's dedication, the results have not been as expected, and there are speculations that Lawrence might be ready to make tough decisions. Alonso's stay in the team is also a point of discussion, considering he has brought most of the points for Aston Martin in 2024, but is still far from reaching the podiums. Will we see a new driver lineup next season? Let's keep an eye out. Despite the current challenges, there is light at the end of the tunnel for Aston Martin. The collaboration with Honda, which will bring extensive championship-winning experience, could be a decisive factor in changing the team's direction. The partnership with Honda will not only bring technical expertise, but also influence the driver lineup. There is a possibility that Yuki Tsunoda, currently at AlphaTauri, could join Aston Martin, taking advantage of the Honda partnership. Will this collaboration finally put Aston Martin in the constant fight for victories? Only time will tell, but the expectations are high. So that's it, folks. Aston Martin's situation in 2024 is full of ups and downs. They started the season with promises and strong qualifying performances, but ended up facing a series of challenges with upgrades and car development. Lawrence Stroll is pushing for changes, and the team is at a critical crossroads. But as always, Formula One is unpredictable, and the next races will be crucial to see if Aston Martin can turn things around. Meanwhile, we'll watch how they handle internal pressures and technical challenges. Is the solution in the new simulator? Only time will tell. So, what do you think? Will Aston Martin manage to bounce back, or are they headed for another season of frustrations? Leave your opinions in the comments. And of course, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you don't miss any updates from the world of Formula One. Thanks everyone, and see you next time.